Now an alert is fine, but let's try something next that will actually modify the page itself. I'm going to add another function in here where we're going to add text right to the page. I'll start by adding a line right below our alert script, and this time I'm going to use a write function. But it's going to be a little bit different because we need to write to a specific place. So the way I'm going to set this function up is by first using the keyword document. To connect the document location with my function, I'm going to use a dot in between, and then I'm going to write the function, which is called write. Again, it has parentheses, just like all functions do. And inside the parentheses, I'll add the text, JavaScript created this text. Again, it's in quotes because I want those exact characters placed onto my page. Now, let's end the line with a semicolon. Save our changes, and we'll go out and test the document. Once again, I'm seeing our alert box, so I'll just click OK. And as soon as I click OK, you can see that our JavaScript text is added right after the paragraph. Now let's try something else with this write function. We used it to write text, and our HTML document or HTML code is text, so we should be able to have JavaScript add text and HTML code as well. Let's try that out. I'll go back to my document. And what we'll do is we'll just go back to the document write statement that we set up before, and let me just add some HTML tags to it. I'll bold the word created by just simply adding a strong tag at the beginning, and then go down to the end of the word and we'll add a close strong tag, just like we would in our HTML document. And let's save that change. We'll go back to our browser, refresh, and I'll click that OK message one more time. And this time you can see that the word created is bolded just like we wanted it to with our HTML code. Now last time with our alert statement, we switched the order of the code around, so let's do that again just to see what happens in this case. I'll go back to my document, and the first thing I'm going to do is grab that entire script block. I'll cut it out of its current location, and I'm going to paste it in between the h1 tag and the paragraph tag. So we'll drop it right in there. And just for fun, I'm going to grab the document statement. I'll cut that out, and I'm going to switch places with it and the alert statement. So our document write should happen first, and then we should see the alert. Now, based on what we saw last time, let's see if we can figure out what's going to happen. The page is going to render from the top down, so we should see the title, JavaScript Basics, and we actually should see the document write statement executed next. And then we should see the alert statement come up after that. Now, notice the paragraph is down below all of these, and since the alert kind of pauses everything right in the middle, we have a stopping point, and we should see the title, our JavaScript created this text, and our alert message, and we should only see the paragraph after we finish closing the alert. So let's try it out. I'll save these changes to my document once again. We'll go back out and refresh our page, and let's take a look what we've got. We've got our title, we've got the JavaScript created this text, and our alert box. I'll click OK, and then you can see that the page finally gets around to putting the paragraph in here. You'll also notice that since we had our document write statement before the paragraph, that's actually where the code was written. So not only do we need to remember the fact that the code renders on the page from the top down, but also when we're using the document write function, we need to make sure that we place that inside the code where we want the text added. And in this case, that would be before the paragraph block. Now, while we're here, we can try out another thing that's actually very important to JavaScript, but doesn't really affect the code, and that is commenting. I'm sure you learned how to comment in HTML, and JavaScript also has a commenting method as well. So let's try that out. For instance, on our page, I'm a little tired of the alert, and I could just delete that line, but if I'd went in and added a comment mark to the very beginning of it, that would be // then our JavaScript executor will actually ignore this line completely. Let's try it. I'll save the change. We'll go and refresh the page. And this time we get no alert message. All the rest of the elements come up here just fine, but we're not seeing that one line of code because we commented it out. Now, that's just one use of a comment mark. A more common use of the comment mark is actually to leave notes to yourself or to anyone else who'd be reading the script. If you've gotten script from a really good source, there's a good chance that they've commented portions of the script to tell you what's going on, and that's really helpful. So if you are doing some of your own scripting, it's not a bad idea to leave some notes for when you come back to it later. I could leave a note right in here by using my comment mark, // and then following it with whatever I want the comment to be. How about this next statement writes JavaScript to the page? Now, once again, that's going to be ignored by the JavaScript processor, that one line there that we've added in there, and that's just simply a note to myself. Now, there are a couple of other ways that you'll see people use comments inside of their documents, so I might as well show you them as well. For instance, if you're trying to add a comment that goes on more than one line, you can just use another line of the double slashes. So I'll do that here, // This is also a comment. But if you have multiple lines, this can be kind of tiresome. So we have another alternate way that you can mark an area as a comment so that it'll be ignored by the script processor. And that is, instead of using // at the beginning of my comment, I'll change that to /*. And to signal the end of a comment, I can do it over multiple lines. I'll just remove the // from the beginning of this line, and I'll drop in the opposite of what we typed before. This will be */. And that signals the end of a comment. And in between those two characters, you can have as many lines as you want. So that's typically used to add a lot of description to a script and let others know what's going on with a small paragraph. Now, a third way to add a comment is using the //, but you can use this one right in line with a regular JavaScript function. I'll just go down to the end of the line after the semicolon, and I can go in and add my // there and say this is a comment. The bottom line in all the comment setting is you should go ahead and leave notes to yourself or to other people because it's a good practice and because you want others to do it for you as well. With all the comments I've added, I'm just going to do one more save of the page, and when we go back and refresh the page, we shouldn't see any of that text that we added. In fact, JavaScript and the HTML on the page is doing exactly the same thing it did before. It's just ignoring all those comments that we've added.